Swiss and with and the step indicates. So this is counter value. That means input type number means it will not allow any another value. Only numbers can be typed. For example, let's see now how to define this syntactically. We write input type is equal to what? Number. You see now here, suppose I am writing, so data term age, and I want input type as number. Now I will put a name age. Now you can see in this, you can enter only number. If I try to type any string, it's not typing. It will not type any string, only numeric value. That means only numbers. Sometimes you people will get little excitement when you type E, it will type. Immediately you will come with a question. Sir, you said alphabets are not allowed, but I typed E, it is working. Right? So E will type, but other alphabets will not type because you don't know, later you will learn. E is a exponent value. It is a number value. E is for exponent. So power, exponents, for that we use E. In programming, we use E for exponent. That is the reason it allows. But it will not submit. It will allow to type. When you submit, it will not allow. But E you can type because it is a numeric thing. Later you will learn how to handle it. In JavaScript, you will learn about that. Usually, any alphabet is not allowed. But E is also not allowed to submit, only type, because it is used for numeric calculations, right? That is not the point. So age is used for only number, right? So here, how much number, there is no limit. You see up down came, numeric up down, you can increase, you can decrease, you can go to negative value also. I don't want like that. I want start, I want end. Then you can simply write min and max. You can write min is suppose 15, max is some 30, like this. Now see what happens. I will write min is equal to 15, max is equal to 30. Now you can see min and max. You can start with 15, it will start. You will end with 30. It will not go more than that. If you try to type 12 and try to submit, it will not submit. It will say that value should be greater than 15. So it is validation also. So by default, it is empty. Instead of empty, you can put value like 22, like this. Value indicates default value. Default value, that means I say value 22. So it will start with 22. But minimum is how much? 15. Maximum is how much? 30. Whenever you refresh, it will be 22 by default, that you can define with value. Another, this is okay here. But sometimes we will create some numeric values like this. Suppose interest rate. Interest rate, I am giving here input type is equal to number. Name is equal to rate. Min is equal to 10.25. You can tell where to start. Max is equal to 18.42. Now this is the interest rate, and value I will keep 10.25. It starts with that value. Now see what happens when I move this 10.25, 11.25, 12.25, one increment will come. I don't want like that. Increment must be 0.01. You can change that. You can simply keep step. Step by default, how much? 1. You can set suppose 2. Then you see 10.25, 12.25, 14.25. Decrease 12, 10. It will not go down less than that. Instead of that, you can write 0.0201. If I say 0.01 step, then 10.25, then 26, 27, 28, 29, like this. It will increment based on that value. After that, then it will go to the 11, like this. How much step? You can define in fractions also. You can write 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs, 1 to 10 lakhs, anything. Fractions you need to define. Now, one problem is there. Suppose for age, I given step as 2. That means for age step value, how much? 2 step value will come. Now, how to write starting with how much? 15. After that, step value is 17. According to step value written. Suppose you typed 16. It will not allow. You have to enter correct step value only. Step value means not just how much to skip. It is correctly what is the next value. That means now 16 it will not allow. Either you need to keep it 15 or keep it to 17. So you can increment by specific number that you can manage by using step. So you can write like this. Input type is equal to number. Min is equal to 10.25. Max is some 18.25 or something. And value is 10.25. Step is equal to 0.01. Like this we can define. That is how the min, max and step are used. Actually for password and number, you have min length, max length. Remember, all other attributes are same. All other attributes are same. You can use required, you can use pattern, you can use min length. Min length you cannot use. For min length, we have min and max. Instead of min length and max length, we have autofocus, required, pattern, all other attributes are same. Read only, disabled, ID, class, names, all are same. So only extra attributes are min, max, and step. Right. Now sometimes for numbers, we don't use number input. There is another called range input. Range input. So it is same like number input, but will display a slider instead of numeric up down control. It will display a slider instead of numeric up down control. For number, what happened? For number, generally a numeric up down came, user can select. But usually in several websites, they give slider. You see a lot of shopping sites and all. Actually, suppose we have some Flipkart I selected some mobiles categories and all. Okay, now you can see these are filters for this mobile categories. Where are filters here? Mobiles. Some t-shirts. You can see uh, discount is checkbox. This is a range. This is slider. That is input type range. Input type range means a slider will come. You can choose minimum, maximum by using slider. Sometimes a numeric up down will come and sometimes a slider will come. Just only the difference is both are same. Just you change this from number to range. That's it. And you can see a slider is going to display. But how much value user is selecting, it is not displayed. For that, we need to write JavaScript logic. Through JavaScript, we will collect the value and display. That in JavaScript, you are going to see how to do that. But you can see currently, if you submit login, suppose this is 23, yeah, login, and you can see it submits its value. So while sliding itself, you can show the value. That is done with JavaScript. You will see several websites like suppose HDFC Bank. In this HDFC Bank website, you can see suppose I go to some loan calculator. You see in this loan calculator, this is slider. In this slider, when I am moving interest rate, you can see the points are moving here. That is JavaScript. Through JavaScript, we write such logic. In JavaScript, you will do that. So usually what happens when you are sliding, we can get the value and display in some text box. Right? These are called, this is input type range. This is input type range. You have number and we have range. Everything same like number. Just you need to manage input type range. Min is equal to some 10.25. Max is equal to some 18.25. And value is equal to some 10.25. You want, you can give step value also 0.01. Like this we can give. What is difference between number and range? Number have number input. You can type a number or you can choose number by using up down. So sliders, range input, you have to slide and select the values. That's simple. So we have, what are the types? Passwords, number and range. Another important, you have a special color input. Color input. Actually, it can display a color picker. It can display a color picker. You can select and submit a color. You can select and submit a color. Only the extra thing you should know is the color value is 6 characters, hexadecimal. Hexadecimal. I told you that in HTML, colors we can give in 3 ways. What are those? Color name, color shade name. Hexa, 3 characters hexa code is there, 6 character. Here only 6. No 3 characters. No color names. Only 6 character hexadecimal. So the color value is 6 character hexadecimal only. Color names, color 3-character hexa names, it will not accept. It is used to display color picker so that you can select. Usually these days, shopping sites and all, they will show a product and they will ask which color you want. Color pickers will be there. You can choose any particular color. How you can do that? Simple. You have to just put input type is equal to color. And if you want any color value, you have to set value is equal to hash FF0000. That is 6-character color. That is the color code actually. So I am writing here. So I will just put a option here. Select color and data definition. Input type is equal to color. And input type color, you can see there is a color picker here. And you can click and you can choose any color. Now, this color, if you want any default, then what you do? We have to put value. I am writing red. It will not work. Color name will not work. We have to give hash F00. F00 is what? 3-character hexa code for red, but it's not working. It should be 6-character hexa code. Then it will work. Default which color you want, you can set it. So this is a color picker. Remember, you are just learning how to design them, how to make them work later. That's what JavaScript will teach you. You can put a color picker. You can choose a color. What to do with that color, that JavaScript will teach you. How to manage that. How to apply to a product. How to apply to some text that you will see in coding, programming. Here just only designing of these elements we can do, right? This is another new concept into HTML. These are all HTML new elements. Earlier, we don't have so many. Earlier, we have only text box, password, multi-line text box. But now for number separate, for color separate, for slider separate, so many new inputs are available, right? Next, you have another option. We have email input. Email input, it is similar to text box, but can validate email address. But can validate email address. That is the extra thing it can do. That is very simple. Just what we have to do. Syntax input type is equal to email. That's it. If you want, you can give other attributes like required. You can use other attributes like autofocus. All other things are okay. They will work. Same like text box. But what is specialty? It have a separate validation for emails. So what is the basic requirement for email? It will verify whether there is @ present or not. It is in a proper email format or not, right? Remember, validate email address means it will not verify whether that email address is there or not. It is verifying the format is in email format or not. These validations are related to format. Actually, in several websites, they ask you to enter mobile number, right? Do I need to enter a valid mobile number? Not required. You write 9999 10 times, it will take. It will take. It is just verifying that it is in correct format or not. It will not verify with that with your mobile service provider that you have a mobile number or not. It doesn't take that. Any website is same. Only few websites to send OTP, They use verification. Then they will remember, if any validation through OTP has to be done, you have to enter a valid mobile number. That means that mobile number should be there. But any another website, they ask mobile number. You enter any 10 digits, it will take. It will take. Right? You don't need to enter your mobile number. Right? So that is not verifying with the service providers. That is verifying only format. Means, is it verifying whether email taken or not? No, it is verifying whether the email is in correct format or not. Right? That means here, so I will put a data term, your email, and data definition input type is equal to email. Name as email, something. Now you see here, when I type anything, so some John gmail.com, it will not valid, it will not verify. I just entered at the net gmail.com, it will accept that. So is it validating your email address? No. It is just validating the format of email address. For that, earlier we have to write separate validation. Why HTML latest version developed all this? Because earlier we have to depend completely on JavaScript. To verify a number, we need JavaScript. To verify a email, we need JavaScript. Why we are not willing to have a lot of JavaScript? Because JavaScript problem is it can be disabled by browser. Browser can disable JavaScript. Then these all validations will not work. That's the reason they designed with HTML now. What is advantage of HTML? Even when JavaScript is disabled, these will work. So that is the new concept, right? So we have simple email. That is a very simple one. Next, you have URL input. URL input. URL input, it is similar to text box, but can validate URL format. Can validate URL format. And important, URL format must have a protocol, domain, and so the domain extension. These must be there. That means, for example, I typed URL www.amazon.in like this. This is invalid. That is not a valid URL. Why it is not a valid URL? Valid URL means it should have protocol. http://www.amazon.in. This is valid. It will verify that whether they entered a proper address or not. For that, you need URL. So syntactically, you just define input type as what? URL. All others are same, required. So autofocus. So you can just keep name, class, IDs, all others, you are same. Right? Just what we do, it will verify URLs. For example, you see here your site address. Okay. And here I defined input type as URL. And I'm just using here URL. And you see now I'm typing www.amazon.in. It's a website address only, but it is not valid. Because as per the URL format, it should have http:// then it is okay. That is a valid URL format. You can verify URL also. So for number, for password, for email, for range, and for URL. Color have a separate input. Another important in the input, so we have an input called tel. So actually it validates telephone number. But very important is, so it uses a predefined phone number format. So you see, suppose your mobile, I am just using input type as tell, and so here I entered phone. Now you see here, I'm entering some mobile. Suppose 987654321 something I entered and login. It's very fine. Suppose I entered some text. It is also very fine. Why? Because you entered telephone. Okay, tel is fine. But which country telephone? We learned pattern, how to write a pattern. Which country telephone? This is complicated. That's the reason we don't recommend to use this. Instead of using this, better you go with text box and write a pattern. Because here it is there, but we don't recommend. So it cannot, so requires a pattern to verify, to set predefined phone format. So it is not recommended. So it is there, but don't try this, not required. Right? So syntactically, what is there? We have input type is equal to what? Tell. Some name as phone. I told you so many things in HTML, they will be there, but we don't recommend to use. I already showed you so many like that. I told you that for space ampersand NBSP, but don't use ampersand NBSP for giving more spaces. Like that, so many rules we learned. There is a font tag for changing the font color size, but as per advanced designing, we don't prefer using font tag. We apply by using styles, right? Those all things I told you, rule. Technically, telephone is there, but not required. That is not required. You can write pattern here. You can write pattern if you want, right? Next, important, in the input, you have a date and time input. Date and time input. Date and time input. So it is used for date and time values. So it can validate date and time. Date and time. Actually, there are so many here. We have date, we have time, we have date, time, local. So we have month and we have year. These are, and we have week, like this. These are the date and time related options we are having. That means what you can do, you can write like this: input. So input type is equal to date. You can write input type is equal to time. You can write input type is equal to month. Like this, you can add all. All those are types. You can define those types. So it will, what generally it will do, it will allow to input only date or time. Anything else not allowed, right? For that, we have these options. See now, I am writing some here, like data term, departure, and input type. Input type is equal to some date. You can see it will show a date picker like this. In this date picker, you can select a date. Suppose you want a time picker, then here you define time. Then you will see a time picker will come. Suppose you want date and time, you can use date time local. I already told you, don't depend on this help. In that help, lot of outdated things will come. Suppose see there is date time that is outdated several years back. Now will not work. And you select this date time and you will see here nothing is there. So don't depend on that help, because these help was old help without updated with new features. Just they are good up to certain limit. We don't depend on them, right? So we have date time local. This is the new one. It allows you to select both date and time. You can choose date and you can choose the time. It will select both. You can use instead of that month, it will allow you to select a month. You can choose any month. From any particular year, you can choose. Here, years will come. Right? Now, important is we can use week. Week means what? It will allow you to select a week. Week means which week in the year, week number. Week, it will select all the dates in that particular week. But remember, this will not allow to select any range of dates. It is only single. That means it will not allow to select range of days. It will not allow to select range of dates. Suppose you want from 5th to 10th or 15th to 24. It will not work. But you might have seen such calendars. They are not HTML calendars. They are designed with JavaScript jQuery. Lot of calendars on internet you see, they are designed with jQuery JavaScript. We create our own calendars because these calendars in HTML limited. They don't have all the facilities. If you want, then you have to design your own calendars. So many online libraries, they sell calendars also. You have to purchase those calendars and you have to use them in your websites, right? So all the calendars that you see on internet in different websites, all are not HTML. They are designed with different softwares like Angular, like React, like Bootstrap, like so many third parties will be there. So it will, this HTML calendar, it will not allow to select range. Suppose I am defining here, so type as date, and I want to select some 17 to 22. I click on that, it will not work. You can select only one date. It is not available to select the range, only one. Then others you see online, I will show you Telerik. This is Telerik. Telerik is very popular in the world for software people. Actually, software people working in large scale projects. Generally, what they want for designing, they want something for designing, and it is not available in their technologies. They can borrow from this and they can use. You see, these are the customers of Telerik. NASA is customer of Telerik. Visa, Microsoft, Fox, Samsung, these are all customers. That means they provide software support to those people. Microsoft itself is a software company. IBM itself is a software company. Then these people are providing help to them. That means those companies have so many softwares, but they may not have everything in their software. Then rest of the gaps are filled by such third parties. Any technology in the world, is not having a solution for every problem. Every technology have its own problems, gaps. For example, you are using mobile. Suppose your mobile brand is Samsung. Is the camera in that mobile manufactured by Samsung? No. Samsung is not popular in manufacturing cameras. Then how they got that camera inside? Somebody is popular in manufacturing cameras. So from them, they borrow camera and put that in that phone. Everybody does same. Suppose you are using a camera, you have a camera. The camera name is some Sony. In that Sony camera, lens doesn't belong to Sony. You are wearing your spectacles, right? The brand of that frame is, suppose, Lenskart. Lenskart is not the manufacturer of lens, only frame. Lens manufacturer popular companies are Carl Jesus. You know Carl Jesus? Carl Jesus lens are very popular. So you go to an eye store, you ask for this power, give me lens. They will say that this brand are there. This costs this much, this costs this much, this costs this much. But all power are same. That means are Lenskart people manufacturing lens? No, they are not manufacturing. They are only frames. If you ask, why don't you manufacture your own lens? Then they will say that already we are busy with our business. We can't involve in every business. Right? We can't involve in every business. For example, you went to a market. A person is selling a certain vegetable. You cannot ask him, why can't you sell all vegetables? Why you put only these specialized? He will say that this is enough for me. I can't take lot of burden. Every software company same. They are not involved in everything of software. Don't think that every software can do everything. They are having lot of issues. So that is the reason, according to client requirements, which software is suitable, we will decide. Based on that, we build app for them. If it is fulfilling 70% of requirements, rest of 30% we borrow from others and we integrate them. Such people are Telric. For example, you see in Telric, I will go to demos. In that, I will show you here some jQuery demos. Yeah. In this, you see lot of calendars are there. You see calendar, you see date pickers are there. I will take a date range picker. You see, this is a date range picker. And here I click, I select starting date, I select ending date, and it will select. Is this possible in HTML? Not possible. Then they designed like this. Our companies will purchase from them. Sometimes our company says that you design. You are a developer, you design it. How to design? Lot of coding is required. JavaScript, jQuery, HTML, CSS, all combined and we develop. And already I told you, software companies are not talent shows, business. They don't want to waste time. They will say that even you can write the code, don't write. We already purchased it, use it. Because software companies, they are not talent shows. They don't want to see how much talent you are having. They just want their work to be done because they are paid for that. Right? In that case, they don't want you to waste the time in designing everything by your own. You have to borrow from others, implement, customize according to requirements. That is the reason online you will see so many things, same like HTML, but they are not designed with HTML. They are designed by using a combination of different concepts, right? HTML have certain limits. If you are satisfied with it, use it. Not satisfied, you design by your own. That is the point, right? So technically, date will not allow to select range. But one advantage is you can restrict dates. You can restrict date. How you can restrict date? You can restrict date by using by using two attributes. One is min, another one is max. And one more important note is date format for developer. For developer is year, month, day. For a software developer in any technology, date is year, month, day, not day, month, day, year. Year, month, day. Any technology in the world, software developers format is year, month, day. If you type in any another format, it will not take. How to present, it is different. We can present in any way, but how developers takes the dates, that is this format. For a user, you can provide in any way. For a user, you will say that enter month, day, year. He will enter month, day, year, but in the background, we will read year, month, day. Whatever he enters, we will take. But finally, our conversion will be year, month, day. Otherwise, computer programs cannot take your dates. For example, see now, suppose I am entering date here, minimum. Minimum is, suppose I am writing like 17, 4 and 2023. Okay, starting from today. Maximum, suppose 24, 4, 2023. Means our intention is dates must be selectable between 17 to 24. You see, I given minimum and maximum, and here you can see here it's not working. I can select previous also. I can select previous. I can select 29 also. That means it is working means what? This format is not valid. Then what is the correct format? 2023 hyphen 0417 year, month, day. And the same 2023 23 and 04 and 24 like this. Now what is the point? Now you can see that in this you can see other dates are not selectable. We can't select them. They are not selectable at all. You can select only the range of dates that are available. Anything else you try to select, it is not selectable. Other dates not selectable. Right? So format is important. For a person who is using your website, he don't know. He don't care. But sometimes we put help for him, saying that enter in day, month, year, enter in month, day, year. But that is only for his UI. In the background, our technology will not take like that. Our every technology, Java, .NET, PHP, anything in the world, it has to take year, month, day. That is the standard format. That is the standard format of configuring date. So for developers, you can restrict by using minimum and maximum. So you should write like this. Syntax, we have input type is equal to date, min is equal to some 2023 and 4 and 70.
Recording stopped.
Okay,
Recording in
so
progress.
let's continue. Right. So in this, how do we define? So we need to define syntactically what input type is equal to date. Min is equal to some 2023 417. Max is equal to 2023 for some 24, like this. This is the minimum and maximum how we can set for date. Right. So this is date input. Next important. So in the input, we have another input called file input. Another is file input. File input actually it is used to display a file browser. A file browser. Remember, this is very, very important. It is not a file uploader. It is not a file uploader. It is only a file browser. Why we have to tell this point correctly? Because generally when I say that you can select files, then immediately you will have question like, sir, how to restrict only JPG? Because suppose we ask upload photo. Upload photo means you can select JPG, PNG like that. If you upload PDF, it should not take. But remember, this is not a file uploader. It is a file browser. You can select any file. There is no restriction. Restriction is not given here. Restriction is given in logic. That means when user submits the file to any server, there we verify what is the file type, how much size file is having. So if anybody asks like, can we restrict file size? No. Can we restrict file type? No. That is not its work. Its work is only selecting files. If you want to restrict the file size, file type, through logic you have to do by using JavaScript, server side programming like Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js and all. Right? This is just file browser. We can set filters. So you cannot restrict file type or size. But you can set filter. You can set filter for files. So filter can be changed anytime. You can set filter, but it can be changed anytime. For example, see here how to define syntactically. We have to define input type is equal to file. So you see now I am giving here a simple define here simply like data term your photo and data definition input type is equal to file. We are writing file. Now name as photo like this. Okay. Now you can see here a file uploader will come. Let's run this and see. In this is just a file selector. Here you can choose file. That means you select a file. You choose any file. Any file you select and open. That file will open. Is it uploaded? It's not uploaded. It's just selected. Uploading is not done here. Uploading means learn the logic. We write a button. We put upload. On upload click, we collect the file data. We will send to server. We store on server. It's a lengthy process. For that, you have to learn complete course. At the end of third month, you will see it. So here you can just only see file selectors. For example, suppose here I am giving upload photo. If I want to restrict only JPG, PNG and all, then what you can do is you can put here. So Filter can be defined by using accept attribute. It can be defined by using accept attribute. That means we have to write attribute like this: input type is equal to file, and accept is equal to, you can write .jpg, comma .png, like this you can write. Then what happens is, it is not restriction, it is only filter. Filter means by default it will show jpg, png. If you want, you can change later, right? For example, see now, I am defining here accept.jpg, comma .png, or suppose I given first only .jpg. Now when I click browse here, browse, only jpg files will come. Suppose on my desktop, you see only jpg files comes. Only jpg. You see file type is jpg. Is it restriction for jpg? Not restriction, because later if I want, I click here and select all files, all will come again. All files will come again, right? So this is just a filter. If you want, you can change the filter. How to set restriction? Restriction is defined by using JavaScript and other language. It is just only browser. We can set multiple files also. Means you can write like this: .jpg, .png. Then now see what happens. I click on choose file. You can see desktop, jpg, png files will come now. These are all jpg, png files. Suppose I want only PDF files. Then what you can do? Here you have to just give accept.pdf, PDF, and you can see when I click on choose file, it will keep only PDF files here. Only PDF files will come. When I select any PDF file, then only that PDF file will come. That will display that PDF file. So you can put filters, but remember, you can change the filter. I can select all files later. So this is not restricting. This is just only filters. Now, one more point is, here you can select only one file at a time. I am trying to use control key, shift key. It's not working because it allows only one. If you want to allow to select multiple files, you can write like this: file input allows to select only one file. You can set multiple attribute to enable selection for multiple files. To enable selection for multiple files, you can use multiple attribute. That means you have to write like this. What you have to do, you need to define input. Input type is equal to what? File. And you can say multiple. Multiple allows you to choose more than one, right? So by default, it allows you to choose only one. For example, see now here, I am clicking on choose file. When I am clicking on choose file, it will open. Here you can choose only one file at a time. But what I will do, I will make it as multiple. And you can see I choose file. Now it will give a checkbox here. You can select more than one file. And I say open two files selected. And I click on login, it will submit those two file names. What files are selected? That is just how we can set the restriction, filters, multiples and all, right? This is basically how to input files, file input. So many you have seen. So password input, number input, range input, color input, file input, email input, URL input, telephone input. Another one, range, date time input, how to handle them. Next important in this we have, so radio buttons. Next important, radio buttons. Actually, what is the purpose of radio button? What is the concept of radio button? Actually, radio buttons are used to select one or multiple. They are used to select one or multiple. So generally, what people think in general outside about these radios, what technically these are important. Generally, when you see radio buttons, people think that radio buttons are used for selecting one. Immediately, everybody gives the same answer. But radios can be used to select one or multiple. One or multiple. You see now, for example, how to define that. So, syntax I defined here. Input type is equal to radio. I will show you, so many things are there here. Suppose I am asking gender and I am defining here input type is equal to radio. You see, radio will give a simple radio like this. For that radio, if you want any label, usually for elements to put any labels, we have label element separately. By using label, we will keep labels. Some elements don't have labels. We put labels by using label, right? So I will put a label here as male. It will come like this. We are using another radio. So input type is equal to radio. And label for this as female. You can see like this. Now, generally, if you show this to anybody and ask the question, what is the purpose of radios? Immediately they give you answer. They are used for selecting any one, right? Generally, if any radios comes like this, people think that they are used for selecting one, but no, you can select both. Both are working. So if anybody says that radios are used for selecting one, he is proved wrong. Radios are not used for selecting one. You can use one or you can use multiple. But what is problem with radio is, so they are working fine, but what is problem with radio? Radio button once checked cannot be unchecked. They once selected, they cannot be deselected. You check them, you cannot uncheck them. Suppose I want to deselect radio. How? There is no chance. I click on that one more time, it's not working. I click on one more time, it's not working. Once they selected, you cannot deselect them. So that is the drawback of radio. Then what we do is, so that is the issue. For that, usually what we do, refresh, gone. I selected male. I want to deselect male. You can't deselect, no chance. Now I deselect, it's not working. And you select female, it's also selected and it cannot come out. That is the nature of radios. Once checked, they cannot be unchecked. That is the reason. Hence, radios are used with a mechanism called mutex. Mutex means mutual exclusion. Actually, mutex is a concept of multi-threading. It is a concept of multi-threading. Multi-threading is a very big concept in software programming, and it is a concept of multi-threading. So mutex means mutual exclusion, that is multi-threading. Actually, Mutex mechanism, there are in multi-threading, different mechanisms are there. You have mutex and you have semaphores. Mutex and semaphores. This topic is little high level. At your level, you don't need, but just overview I am giving. Mutex semaphores are nothing but generally suppose you are downloading some from a website. And when you are downloading from a website, some songs you are downloading. And some websites, what they do is when you are downloading, then what happens is once when you are downloading, others you can't download. Only one is allowed at a time. That is called mutex. You try to download another one, then what happens? Previous one will stop. The second one will start. At a time, you can download only one. That is called mutex. Semaphore means it will allow to download at a time many, but not unlimited. There also limit. Like you can download 3 at a time. Now, fourth onwards, they will be in queue. Out of 3, one is finished, then next one will join. This mechanism is called semaphore. At a time, allowing one is mutex. At a time, allowing more than one is semaphore. And more than one means not unlimited. There is also limit, 4 or 5 or 3 or like that. Suppose if you have downloading any songs, you know that. Songs, videos on YouTube, Netflix, you are downloading videos. Suppose you are downloading on YouTube 10, 20 videos. It will say that I can't download these many. At a time, it will download 3 or 4. Others will be in queue. Once anyone is finished out of 4, then next one will join like that. That is the concept actually. So radio's problem is once they are checked, they are unable to uncheck. Then how to use them? What is the correct way of using them? Correct way of using is nothing but why they do like that? Because generally what happens is, suppose we have this is, suppose this is memory. So we have some memory. So this is memory. Okay. Now you can see that this is called process. We have memory and we have process. This is process. In the memory, 2 tasks are present. Task 1 and task 2. 2 tasks are present in the memory. Now what happens is, so from this first task is sent into memory. Once it goes into memory, it goes from memory to process. It is into process. It strucks in the process. It can't come out. It can't come out. Then what you have to do? You have to restart this process. If you restart the process, it comes out. Suppose you send the second task also. Now both are stuck in the process. Now both are unable to come out. Now you have to restart the process. Instead of doing this, what we do is mutex means we tie these 2 tasks. We tie these 2 tasks to one thread. We tie these 2 tasks to one thread. Then what will happen is into process, one task is sent. Process will identify the thread, which thread it is. From the same thread, another task is sent. Then it will send this previous task back. That is good. This is called mutex, mutual exclusion. You send this task again into process, then it will send this one out of process. But one will be in the process, compulsory. But out of 2, which one you can change? You can switch. This mechanism is called mutex. Now currently, is text box, are these radios exhibiting mutex? They are not exhibiting mutex. To exhibit mutex, so to define mutex, mutex, you have to configure same name for both radios. For both radios you give the same name, then they will exhibit mutex, because you need to tie them, both of them, to same thread. That means what you have to do now, for this radio I am giving name as gender. Same name you have to give for this also, gender, same name you have to give. Then now you can see that now the radios, I selected male. I want to deselect male, it will not work. You select female, it will deselect. This is called mutex. You select male, you select female. This is mutex mechanism. This is the nature of radio. What is speciality now? Why, when to use this? When selection is compulsory. Without selection, they can't live. Without selection, how you cannot live? Simple. What we will do is, we can simply put like this. First one, input type is equal to radio and the name is equal to gender. So we have a label. So say male. Another one. So we have input type is equal to radio, gender. Here we are defining female. Now they will exhibit mutex mechanism. But important here is, so you can make any one radio selected by using checked property. By using checked property, you can simply write like this. By default, you can put checked. That means now what happens is, you see, I given one male as checked. Then you see by default it is selected. Now how to remove? I selected female, but any one is compulsory. Suppose if I refresh, default male will be selected. So what is the meaning of radio? Selection compulsory. Without choosing an option, you can't live. If you don't choose, no worry, we will choose an option for you. But we will not live without choosing an option. So in that case, radios are used. So what is the nature of radio? They will not allow to submit without selecting an option. For that, this technique we will implement. Directly radio will not work. We have to implement a lot of technique. First, for radios, you need to give a common name. After that, you need to make one radio checked. Then there is no chance. They can't skip this. If they don't select, that's their problem. By default, we will select one. By default, we will select one. So this kind of nature is followed in several websites, because we want, like, suppose you are creating a bank account, online bank account. You have to choose a bank account. If you don't choose a bank account type, automatically it will take one type, because without the type, it can't register. It is compulsory, mandatory. So that is the reason you have to use this, right? Now, one more point is there. If I give checked for both, only the latest one will work. Latest, which one you given, that will work, because all are having the same name. Another point is, one more important thing you should note is, every radio button by default submits on as value. On as value. So it is hence every radio must have a value defined. That is also compulsory. That means, suppose I selected here male and click on submit. It submits gender on. Which gender? Not sure. If I select female and log in, that's also on. That means we are not sure which radio is selected. That's the reason it is compulsory that every radio must have a value. This value is male, and second value, this value is what? Female. This is compulsory when you are designing the radios. Suppose now I selected that male and login, it will be gender male. You selected female and login, gender will be female. Right? After submitting, it will go to male because same page loads again. When it loads again, default one will be male. Right? This is the nature of radios. So it will submit a value. You need a value to be defined here. So we need to configure like this. We need to define value. Value is equal to male. Like this, we need to define. This is basically how the radios will work. So if anyone asks what is the purpose of radio? Radio purpose is not to select one. Radio can select more than one. But it cannot be deselected. To make that happen, we need to exhibit mutex. Means you have to give a common name. And if you give a common name, only one will be selected. So when to use radios? When selecting an option is compulsory, user cannot skip without selection, then better design by using radio. So user can have to select an option, but he can switch which one he wants. For that purpose, radios are good. Understood? Next, important, similarly, now we have checkbox, drop down, so many. That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. So in tomorrow's session, we will finish forms. Then we will take some real-time websites and design their forms. That means we will see some login forms, registration forms in real time, how they look in websites. We will try to design those forms with that, right? That we will see in the next session. Tomorrow we'll do that. Okay.